Hey guys, what's happening? Jeff Augustinelli here, founder of the Purposeful Productivity System, life and business strategist, and host of the Next Level podcast. And today I wanted to talk about why everything is not an emergency. I remember I used to have a mentor and a teacher back in the day who kind of said it in a rude way, but it worked really well. He said, "Your emergency is not my emergency." So what does that mean? How did this translate? So I know for me in the beginning, it translated to not everything I think is immediate and urgent needs to happen right now. The greatest place where this translated was with teams. I remember there was a specific guy on our team who would always ask questions and he would treat everything as if it was an emergency, right? Like when he needed something, he needed to know the answer right now. He couldn't wait. And 9 times out of 10, I started to learn that if I would wait, right? If I would treat it like your emergency is not my emergency. If I would treat it in a way where I would let him figure it out, not call him back for 3 or 4 hours, or just kind of like let that sit, he would figure it out, okay? So what that started to teach him was that he could get resourceful. He could find the answer to the question when maybe he was relying on me for the answer. So if you have members on your team who maybe have unconsciously or maybe by rote habit have been trained to depend on you for answers all the time, maybe you can start to rely on them to assume some of the responsibility. And with yourself, if you find yourself treating everything as if it's super urgent, right? And always being on damage control, always being in the seat of thinking like everything needs to happen right now, not being able to set priorities, it could create a lot of false urgency, meaning that you think that everything's absolutely important and that everything needs to happen immediately, so that potentially the important things are not getting done and the unimportant things are getting ushered to the front. So one of the best ways, and the reason why I'm delivering this message today, one of the best ways, and you probably even see I got a little bit of red everywhere here, is taking a nap or powering down, right? So like just letting the dust settle. So if you find that you've got a million plates spinning, you got a lot of balls up in the air, and it seems as if everything is important and you're not sure what to prioritize, one of the best ways to assess and to see what is actually an order of priority, what needs to happen, and what could potentially be an emergency is to let your foot off the gas for a minute. That could be literally to nap. For me, it's napping in the sun, dude. Literally, it's just getting outside and letting myself go into that dreamy state. And what usually happens is I'll wake up and think like, okay, that's the thing that needs to happen. And with your team, right? The best way to do there is to allow time. Is to let the dust settle and to start to let them regain their agency, so that when they think that they need your attention immediately to solve the problem that they're facing, you allow them the time to figure that shit out for themselves. So they're no longer relying on you, and then your team can do the job that they need to do. So if this resonates, if this is something that you could use some help with, if you're like, well, what do you mean set priorities? Isn't everything need to happen? Isn't everything super important that needs to get done in my business? The answer is no. Everything is not super important. And this is something that I work with folks in the Purposeful Productivity System to really understand how to understand what is the top priority and really what are the money producing activities that you need to do in your business so you can do what you love and get paid for it. All right, y'all. Let me know what resonates in the comments below. And if this strikes a chord and you need help figuring out how to really hone in your craft of figuring out what is most important and what to prioritize, just shoot me a DM and we'll have a conversation to see how we can get that dialed in for you. All right, y'all. Peace.